You're watching The Tom Renz Show with your host, Tom Renz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Happy Friday. Last Friday for me for a little bit. We're actually big news for me, big news for the show. We're going to be changing our time slot starting next week, just in case y'all are wondering. We're going to be moving to a 10 p.m. Eastern show, and we're going to be doing Monday through Thursday, and then we're going to be adding a Sunday show. We're going to be doing a Sunday show. I'm not sure if we're going to start this Sunday or next Sunday, but we're going to be starting a Sunday show. I think we're going to be running at 6 p.m. Eastern. So big news, and make sure you're checking out. I think it'll be a better time slot for us. I think it'll be better on a lot of fronts. And to be real honest, guys, for me, it's a really important shift because it's tough during the day. You know, I still am a full-time attorney. I still am a full-time consultant. I do a lot of things to support what we do here. And it's very, very difficult to break up the middle of the day like this. You know, 10 p.m. is a little bit closer to the end of the day for me. I usually finish work between 11 and 2 a.m., depends on the day. It'll be a lot easier for me to not have to shift gears so dramatically in the middle of the day. Allow me to do more to fight bad guys, to get substantive work done, and to push all the agendas, because we don't just talk about the stuff here. We actually try and do things. I actually want to see changes, and I try and get those things done. So I hope you guys can follow us at the new time slot. Hopefully it will be better for everybody, and I look forward to that move. Today, we're going to be hitting, I don't know how else to say it, and I take no joy in this. This is actually probably just sad that we're in a full-fledged civil war with MAGA. I mean, MAGA is imploding, and that's not good for anybody except for the Democrats. This is the timing is horrific for all this to happen. And, listen, we have Trump's tweet going after Tucker and Megan and Candace and Alex. Yeah, I don't care how you feel about it. At the end of the day, the question I have is that going to in any way, shape, or form benefit Donald Trump or the midterms? And the answer is no. No, the Republicans are not going to see anything good come out of that. So Timing is really bad. I've got to ask yourself, what were we thinking with this? And we're going to get into that. And my take on this is a little bit different, I think, than most people's. I don't think, everybody's talking about this and everybody's taking a side. And at the end of the day, my side is freedom. I don't really care about this infighting is absurd. I don't agree with everything Trump does, but I also don't, I don't agree with the idea that he needed to use the 25th Amendment. And I just honestly, I don't care where you are on this. All this does is makes it easier for the Dems to take over. And that's what I want to talk about. I really want to hit this. So I think there's more going on here than people realize. And we're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about this. I mean, because one of the things underlying this is, there's a lot of people out there. And you're betraying MAGA. You're betraying this. You're betraying that. How can you ever attack Trump? Well, listen, MAGA is about making America great again. We're still pushing mRNA vaccines. We just had a glyphosate executive. I didn't leave MAGA. I'm a MAGA guy, right? And for those of us that are MAGA, there's a lot of things to disagree about. Now, does that mean we want to throw everything out? No. But does that mean we should stay silent when we disagree? I mean, it's been widely reported that the administration has decided that they don't need MAGA for the midterms. Okay, well, good luck. Let's see how that goes for you. It's a terrible decision, but there's a reason people are upset. And when you're a politician, you don't go and piss off the people you need to vote for you. It's a bad decision, especially when you have a coalition of millions and millions of people, which MAGA does. MAGA is a huge coalition. And I hate to tell you, but you aren't going to, I don't see us things going well in the midterms with these continued just attacks on MAGA. It's just not going to go well. So anyways, we'll see what happens here. We're going to get into all of that, but we're going to start out and we're going to talk about some of this stuff. There's a lot of reasons that MAGA's upset. And I want to get into some of that because, again, I didn't leave MAGA and am not planning on it. And who better to join me for that than my friend Mark Sherwood? So I'll be glad to talk with him. Before I do, of course, if you're not aware, I am a grifter. It's the only thing I actually do. I was just told recently that I'm a grifter. I get told that daily on social media. So I'm grifting. Please support us. GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. Support our grifting, because our grifting allows us to tell you the truth, right? I do not get any foreign money. No one, neither Israel nor Qatar. Nobody is giving me any foreign money. And in fact, almost nobody's giving me any domestic money. The Republicans don't like me. The Democrats don't like. Nobody likes me because I just try and tell the truth, and I have fun doing it. So you, my supporters, are the ones that keep me going, and I'm very grateful for you all. Please, GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. Also, hit share, hit like, hit comment, be involved. We need you involved. We're going to keep pushing the truth. We're going to keep doing what we do, but we can only do that if you're supporting it. So please help us support the show. Also, go to TomRenz.com, www.TomRenz.com. You can't get there by Google searching me. If you Google search me, all you find out is that I'm an evil monster, and you should never listen to Tom Renz. But if you go to TomRenz.com, you can go to my shop and you go to partners and affiliates, and guess what? You can save money on everything you'll ever want to buy because I have the best partners and affiliates on the planet, in my opinion. And by the way, you can see who's paying me because this is who's paying me. Global Healing Men's Hormone Support. I love it. Natural hormone support for men. Hale and Associates, wonderful. They're fiduciaries. They will absolutely help you with your financial needs. Paleo Valley. I love Paleo Valley. Great product line. Not what I thought they were. You need to look at them. 15% off the entire store if you use my link. You can find that in the notes and everywhere else. make sure you're check out their apple cider vinegar and their brain health supplements. I like those a lot. And today, of course, I got my friend Mark Sherwood joining me. So scroll down because Dr. Mark and Dr. Michelle are my doctors. And if you want them to be yours, if you scroll down here to this link and you click on it, it'll take you to a page that has my ugly face and some Kingdom Fuel on it. If you click on the blue box, you can make an appointment and you can have Dr. Mark and Dr. Michelle help take care of you. They can do sick care, but they specialize in keeping you healthy and making you feel good and making you perform, helping you to be better. They're the reason that I can work so many hours and still function. They're the reason that I am, in the health that I'm in at 49. I try and eat right and I try and exercise. I kind of fail on the sleep side, but I'm able to do that because Mark and Michelle keep me moving, take good care of me, and make sure that I'm doing the right things for my body and for my health. So check them out. You also want to make sure you're checking out Kingdom Fuel and Kingdom Candy, and their entire supplement line is just rock solid, great stuff. So they are wonderful people. Make sure you're supporting them. Kingdom Fuel, you can go to sherwood.tv/Tom Renz, sherwood.tv/Tom Renz, and check out everything they got there. All right. Speaking of Mark, and without further ado, let's get Mark on the screen if we could, Ben. And how you doing today, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing well, Tom. It's great to see you. Happy Friday.
You too, sir. You too. Hey, your last Friday show for at least for the foreseeable future. I'm glad to have you here, man.
Hey, we'll make this Friday a good Friday as well, just like last Friday.
Yeah, amen. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mark, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the news, but it's kind of hard to miss. We've gone into a full civil war in MAGA. Have you seen this?
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I'm not surprised at all. I never, in my opinion, I never thought this administration was about health anyway, and I still don't think they're about health, but that's just my 3 cents worth.
Well, they are not. Listen, they're saying you never like or dislike everything about any one person, right? There's some things that Trump's done that I've liked. There's a lot of things he's done I've disliked. One of the areas that he has been a pretty epic failure in is MAGA. And, I think, you and I have kind of been covering this, and his continued support for the single biggest, or the single most destructive product in human history, I would argue, the mRNA vaccines, and his continued bragging about Operation Warp Speed, these things. It's very, very disappointing. A lot of us were very excited and supported him when he brought Bobby in. We thought we were going to get some accountability and kind of a change of directions, but it just hasn't happened.
No, I didn't think that was going to happen. My opinion of why he brought him in is different, but ultimately I didn't. And I'm coming from a straight up sheer perspective of, I'm kind of like you. I really don't care, Republicans, Democrats, Independent. I could care less. What I care about is people. And I've seen the health decline of our nation over the course of time. And I didn't expect this administration to change anything because the very people that MAGA was criticizing, Anthony Fauci, was given a Presidential Medal of Honor by the current president. And people can look that up if you want to, fine and dandy, whatever. But the bottom line is, the Maha's wanting him in jail, but you got a person that had celebrated him before and has been very careful about how he walked that line. And so there's a lot of money in drugs, Tom. A lot of money in pharma. And that's what controls the thing. That's what controls elections. That's what controls narratives. That's what controls a lot of our media, because none of us are immune from having our favorite sports event interrupted by big pharma commercials. So again, it's not going to change. This is not something we're going to change. Health does not change from a governmental level. It changes from a personal level in our own families. And that's where we've got to get back to that, man. I mean, if we think that the government's going to do it for us, the government's not your friend, man. They create sickness, they create debt, they create chaos. And I want peace in my home, and I want peace in my life. and I don't want them in my life, and I'm being a little bit, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be positive. I am being positive because I want people to spin it around their head and realize the ownership of health is really staring at us back in the mirror.
Well, it is, and I'm gonna mention my guy JD Patriot 62, who he follows us close. He always keeps an eye on me on X, and he's in the camp that he thinks that Trump's got it all, and I appreciate him. I do. He's a different perspective than me, but he's always very polite about it, and I like debating with him a little bit. And I appreciate the people who do debate, like civilized human beings. But, he's kind of the opinion that's there. When I look at what's happening, there are some things that have been done that are just not good for certain people, right? If you're MAGA, you're not okay with what's been happening. The glyphosate order, the continual funding and support for more mRNA, the lack of accountability. And I'm just focusing on MAGA because this is where you and I are right now. It's not been good in that space. Bobby's tried to do some things. Some of it's been undermined. I mean, we had the terrible court ruling on ASIP, which was just mind-blowing to me. But, I agree with you. I don't think MAGA has ever been a core thing for Trump. I don't think that's just his heart's never been in it. And, there's kind of two sides of this. And I'm going to get into the whole Trump aspect of it more in the second half of the show. But right now, I want to kind of second what you were saying. At the end of the day, our health is going to be our responsibility. Yeah. And health policy is a big deal, and we talk policy here, so we want to fight with that. But, you and I have talked about this forever. Get your butt up, get moving. It's harder and harder to find healthy food every single day, but it is out there. You can do it. And you've got to take responsibility for yourself and your actions. And it's not coming from the government. It just isn't. Even with Bobby at HHS, Bobby's been, I think he's done some great things, but at the end of the day, they've done everything they can to render him, helpless, for lack of a better term. You agree?
I do. I think he really, I've listened to him talk a few times, and I've actually met him once and was actually able to talk with him once. I think he's sincere about the health and the health crisis of America and even the world, for that matter, because we know the Western diet, the Western mindset, the Western civilization, even Western medicine, the philosophies. I'm not knocking medicine per se. I'm saying the philosophies they're in that just don't look at the other side of the coin, Tom. I think Secretary Kennedy has got his heart in the right place. I do not believe he was put there, in my opinion, and people can disagree. I do not believe he was put there for the health of America by this current administration. I believe that was promised to him for the large swath of votes that he commanded because he was disruptive. He ran as an independent, and he did meet with the Democrats as well. If you remember, back before he dropped out of the race, he was trying to figure out where he was going to align with. And so I'm sure if you get right down to it, and I would pretty much bet the farm on this, that both sides, Democrats, Republicans, had representatives meeting with him on the nominee side and says, what can we do to get you to come over here to our side? And the more natural transition, of course, without question, was into a Trump administration. And I think that he's tried to do a lot of good things. But we really know who the boss is. And, he can't be there. I'm talking about Secretary Kennedy. If he openly begins to question and criticize things that you just brought up, which are obviously bad. Now, remember, he did criticize them pre new administration transition. He did that. He was critical of that. And now his language has been tempered. And I'm sure, he's got people around him that says, dude, just don't say that. Just, do what you can do and call it good. And I don't dishonor that either. I think the guy's done a pretty decent job, and we should be grateful he's there because it could be a lot worse. But again, it does boil down, Tom, to us as individual people. making better decisions. And to your point about the food, just one comment on that. Studies have shown that it is cheaper to eat healthy as opposed to eating unhealthy, just simply because high level, deep nutrition is more satisfying than high calorie, non-nutritious or anti-nutrition foods. And so, that's just again, you're trying to overcome a myth, overcome cultures, overcome habits. And, old habits are hard to break, but I think it's time, and I appreciate you standing up for health. And I believe this is, what you're talking about today. I think it's the epitome of the MAGA movement, and it spans the test of time. It goes across both aisles of politics. It's everybody's children, everybody's grandchildren. It's the next generation. And I hope people are listening right now. I hope that you'll hear this and share it with somebody, not as someone that says Tom the Republican or Tom this, or Mark this, but somebody who cares, who legitimately cares. And we need to band together, because one thing we do have in common is our health, or not.
No. Well, I'd put it this way, Mark. One of the things that's interesting to me, you and I are both Christian, and we're both pro-life.
Yeah.
And you can't be pro-life and anti-MAGA. Right?
No.
Life to me begins at conception, but it extends till death, right? And, life is a gift. And the reason that we don't believe in murdering innocent babies is because we believe it's a gift, and we believe that there's a duty before God to preserve life.
Yeah.
And, if that duty exists for a baby, it also exists for children. And throughout the course of our life, we ought to have respect for life. That's why we don't like murder. That's why we don't like, abusing children or doing horrible things. It's about that respect for life that is innate to any Christian and any Christian value system. I think that's a foundational thing that a lot of people kind of miss when they, if you're pro-life, and you almost have to be pro-MAGA. I also think one of the things that's really interesting here is, Bobby's doing everything he can do, and I credit Bobby for that. I understand, he's only got the authority that he's got, and we know where he stands on things. He's been consistent for decades. There's this kind of feeling that, well, at least we've got this, and you said it, at least it could be worse. But Mark, I'm frustrated, and you know what? I'm tired of hearing, well, it could be worse. I didn't vote for it could be worse. I voted for change. I went out. I used my money, my time, my effort. I traveled the country. I fought for change. I fought for accountability. People, one of the things that gets me is well, did you argue about the Epstein files under Biden? I've been upset about the Epstein files since I knew it was a thing back in the 90s. No, I didn't expect Biden to do anything, but I went out and fought for Donald Trump because I wanted accountability. I wanted something better. I didn't go out and fight for Joe Biden because I knew he was a piece of crap. I fought for Donald Trump in 2019. I fought for him in 2016, and I fought for him in 2024. And in 2024, part of my motivation was not that I wanted 4 more years of Biden, but a little bit better. Yeah. I was doing it because I don't want crumbs. I don't want MAGA. MAGA is so happy. I hear all these guys, well, but we did this. And it's something like this. It's a breadcrumb. I don't want breadcrumbs. I want someone who actually supports the values that I have. America first, healthy food, healthy water, healthy air, not having poisonous pharmaceuticals dumped in my arm because some jerk is making billions of dollars off of it. And Bill Gates donates a lot to my campaign. I want accountability. I want these things. Maybe, just maybe, we need to start changing our mindset in MAGA. And instead of being happy for breadcrumbs, we start demanding the whole cake. We start saying that's not enough, and we start speaking out. There's a few of us doing that, but I think the mindset, it's kind of like being fit and being healthy, right? I can go, for me, and this is my personality, this, and I know you're the same, Mark. I could walk for 5 minutes a day and cut out the bag of chips every night, and I'd be healthier than if I didn't.
Yes.
But that's not enough for me. I actually want to be healthy. So I work out. I try and eat right. I try and do things, I take my supplement, take my vitamins, do my things. I do all these different things because I don't want to just have the breadcrumbs. I actually want to have a good, successful, positive life. I think we need to kind of shift our view in MAGA from, well, it could be worse to me, the entire GOP, the base of the GOP, the MAGA base, the MAGA base, we've taken such crap for so long and that's what midterms are coming down to. Well, you have to vote for Republicans because it could be worse. It could be Democrats. That's great. I don't want to vote for it could be worse. I want to vote for someone that actually represents me. Why in this country can't I get a single person elected that actually stands for a true America first, true MAGA, true healthy? What's wrong with us, Mark? It's like we're abused spouses.
Well, a couple things. I think that, as you know, just a couple things to comment on. We've lowered the bar of excellence in our country in health, in education, in performance, in financial gain, in motivation, and even American dreaming, as you just laid out. We now live in a participation trophy world. Well, at least I have this. It could be worse. We live like that. And that's modeled from our current administration. It's got this deception of health, but it's not about health. And you get under the hood and look at it, it's certainly not. I did run for public office, Tom, and I don't mind telling you this today, and you didn't ask, but we still, as far as I know, I was told this from a few people that run campaigns, we got more votes per dollar raised in the history of any major election. Nobody gave us any money. We paid our own way. It was the weirdest thing in the world. And I met so many people that said they were Democrats, said they were, even with the abortion issue, Tom, I learned this, somebody that was like pro-abortion. I could look at them and I could say, actually, you and I are on the same team because I'm glad your mom didn't abort you. I'm glad we can have this discussion. You know what? Just that conversation right there made them think. And it opened the door for a bridge of commonality that was about people. And we had that in common. We just got to know how to communicate. And the reason we can't get people elected as those you described is because they're not backed by this current billionaire club establishment that is influenced by outside sources. You have outside money coming into states. You have outside the country coming into the states you have federal officials micromanaging local elections. You have outside government entities managing our federal elections, funding those things. That's just not going to change. I don't see. And so I just came to the conclusion probably 2 years ago that I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to govern my family myself. I'm going to govern my health myself. And we live in a position right now, you and I, in different parts of the world, different influential groups, but we cross over here. But we have a chance to bring change right now. Every single person we're talking to, even Ben behind the scenes, I hope he's encouraged. Even Tom and Annie at home, I hope you're encouraged. That's where it starts. And that's where change begins. Not from up out of here, but from in here. And so, it was a rambling answer, but I hope
it's a very good
part of it.
It's a very good answer, Mark. And I know you did a great job on your run. I supported you, and I'm grateful that you did that. And I think that every time a good person runs for something, it wakes up a few more good people.
It does.
It was a successful thing, whether or not you won or not. But you're right. And I know how this works because I am well versed on how the inside of this works.
Oh yeah.
You cannot get elected at this point if the billionaire club isn't backing you, and the billionaire club backs themselves. making more billions. And that's just the way it is. Mark, I know you got to get out of here. I know you got to keep running and taking care of your patients and keeping people healthy. I appreciate you as always. Sherwood.tv/Tom Renz. Man, thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend of the show. And we're going to have to get a new day scheduled for you because with the new schedule, that's going to get a bit messy. But I appreciate you always, my friend.
Oh man, it's mutual, man. And thank you so much for always having me, Tom. I appreciate you. And thank you for what you do. And just one more shout out to the audience here. Please share the message that you hear because it's that important. And I know Tom doesn't give a rip what anybody thinks, and that's just what we need to have right now. So get a hold of that and support that.
Thank you, Mark. That's high praise, and it's principle over everything. And it's just what we got to do. So thank you very much, sir.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right. There you have it, my friend, Mark Sherwood. Man, there's a few honorable, good people out there, and Mark's one of them. I'm glad to have him as a friend. So let's get into this a little bit more. Lots of stuff happening. And yeah, I mean, the world's just gone crazy, right? It's literally lost its mind. And there's very much, it's true, the Democrats are worse. There's no question that the Democrats are worse. I'm frustrated, though, guys. I'm frustrated because I don't want it could be worse. And let me show you. Here's an example of it could be worse. This is, I've got this wonderful little excerpt of Hunter Biden, who, I think he fell off the bandwagon here again. When you're getting sober, you're on the wagon. When you get, I think he fell off the wagon again. I don't know. Let me just play this for you guys.
Hey guys, Hunter Biden here. I just got a call from Andrew Callahan. He asked me to come out on the Channel 5 Carnival tour at the end of the month. I think we start in Phoenix and then we go to San Diego and we end in Albuquerque. And I think he's trying to organize a cage match, me versus Eric and Don Jr. I told him I'd do it, 100% in, if he can pull it off. And if he can't, I'm still coming. And I think he's got a lot of other surprises up his sleeve, a lot of fun. And I hope I can see you guys out there. You can get tickets online right now, and I'll see you out on tour.
Okay, there you have it. Hunter Biden is looking for a cage match with Don Jr. and Eric. I mean, listen, anybody who's saying that it could be worse, it could be the Democrats, I can't argue with you. I mean, this is the Democrat Party. This is the son of the former auto pen president, asking for a cage match with two people who don't use drugs. I mean, for God's sakes, that's the Democrat Party. And I don't think I need to say anything else. I mean, that's it, right? Isn't that enough? It could be worse. It could be the Democrats. But again, the frustration here, and I want you guys to understand, I want people to vote. And you're right. We got nothing. We don't have an option. I guess you have to vote Republican because there's no option. But I'm sick of that. I don't want that. I don't want to hold my nose and say, yeah, they're going to push glyphosate. Yeah, they're going to push mRNA. Yeah, they're okay with foreign war. Yeah, they're okay with the Epstein files. But it could be worse. It could be that creature. Really? We can't do better than that in this country. We can't find someone that, isn't looking for a cage match and is also, aware that maybe glyphosate isn't good. Maybe we shouldn't give immunity because look how immunity's worked out in the vaccine industry. Really? We can't do better than that? So anyways, Donald Trump put out a tweet today and, so this is trending on Twitter right now. Trump posted, world's most powerful reset. President DJT, hours after Vance left for Islamabad to turn fragile 2-week ceasefire into a lasting deal, the truce followed Iran's. And he goes on, he talks about it with, being in the tweet goes on, talks about it in terms of what's going on in Iran. Here's the thing. I don't like the language because we're very clearly in the middle of the Great Reset. And I mean, for all you Q people out there, all my Q brothers and sisters, what does this mean? I would love someone, get in the comments, tell me what you think about that, because I don't understand this one. It seems like a terrible use of language here. And I hear all the time that Trump is very, very aware of the language. So I'm curious what you think about that. And if it wasn't on the heels of this kind of mega civil war thing, and guys, listen, again, I'm going to mention my buddy JD Patriot here, because there's a lot of people that are 100% doesn't matter what Trump does, he's doing it the right way. There is no justification for the continued support for mRNA to me. None. Okay. There is none. There's no justification for this glyphosate executive order. It's bad for health. It's bad for America. It's just a bad decision. So I can't get behind the fact that I should blindly support everything Trump's doing, because kids are dying from the mRNA vaccine. We know it's happening. I don't care what plan you might have. Children are dying. I'm not okay with that. The Epstein list. Children were raped. They were abused. There's no accountability. Don't tell me there's a plan. I mean, Todd Blanche has been very open about the fact they're not doing anything more. Now, hopefully, Trump brings in someone who decides to go after this. And that's very interesting in light of FLOTUS, but we're going to get to that in a second. But this whole thing is kind of a big deal, right? Right. So we've got this post doesn't make any sense. And we see trending everywhere is this. Trump blasts Carlson Owens and others as low IQ critics over Iran policy. Now, this is the problem, right? Trump is so committed to this Iran thing. And to me, guys, this is disingenuous. We have to take out Iran. It's 47 years. You're right. It's 47 years. Why start a controversial war when you promised to end foreign wars during your election right before midterms? I mean, you promised to end them, not to start a new one. Why do it right before the midterms? This doesn't make sense to me. It's a bad political move. And I want to focus this on midterms. Now, some of you guys say it doesn't matter, but here's the deal. For those of you that are going to support Donald Trump no matter what he does, you're right. That doesn't change anything. But Donald Trump didn't become president because of the people who will support him no matter what. He became president because he was able to pull so many swing voters, so many of the middle of the road people. This is a numbers thing, guys. I'm not talking about this isn't wishful thinking. This is math, right? The numbers don't add up. There are not enough Americans who are going to vote Republican in the midterms unless he's able to pull some people from the middle, right? The number of voters who are Republican or Democrat are not enough for a majority of the country. So when we look at politics, the reason everybody always talks about the people in the middle is because they're what you have to win. You can't win. Right now, the people in the middle, they're going Democrat. Or they're going to sit it out. One of the two. But either way, that's in favor of the Democrats. Because a majority of people went Republican in the last election. Now a majority of people, when you start looking at those people in the middle, are not. That is a foundational issue. And if you are truly diehard Donald Trump, he can do no wrong, well, you don't want Democrat majorities impeaching him, do you? Midterms matter. You know the Democrats are going to impeach him. Why would you piss off the swing voters that you need over and over and over again? MAGA, I'm sorry, I am in MAGA. I'm in the space. A lot of my MAGA brothers and sisters are not diehard Republican. They're not at all. Bobby was a Democrat. Tulsi was a Democrat. A lot of Democrats came over to MAGA because they wanted to make America great again. If you start doing things they disagree with, they're not going to stay. These aren't people who are Trump loyalists. These are people who voted for Trump because they thought he was going to represent them. In fact, 9+ million people voted for Trump in the presidential election because Bobby came in. We know internal polling has shown it. This is math. If those 9 million people don't come out for the Republicans, you've got Democrat majorities in Congress, and then you get an impeached Donald Trump. Because as we saw with Hunter, he's unhinged. He's a nutbag. That's the Democrats. But there are not enough people who will just vote Republican for the sake of voting Republican to prevent that from happening. We've got to focus on midterms because a Democrat majority means the country is in bad shape. Bad shape. But that's where we're heading. This matters. This matters immensely. And in fact, that's what I said. So I posted this. Here's the president's tweet or post or whatever it is. And I'll make it big so we can read through this. He goes, Tucker, Meghan, Candace Owens, Alex Jones. Now, Tucker, Meghan, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones collectively have many, many millions of followers. Now, some of them will stay Donald Trump. Some of them will, because of his attacks on them, move away. Now, does this mean Trump's going to lose all his support? No, it doesn't. The MAGA, Trump can do no wrong crowd is going to stay with Donald Trump. And for those of you in that space, that's fine. I know you ain't going anywhere. You don't have to tell me. The people who are in the middle, the people who he needs to ensure he's got a majority are not there. They're not going to be there. Stuff like this is not sitting well. The thing about politics is you're still accountable to the people who vote. Now, I know about the election fraud, but we have the election fraud. That's not been cleaned up. We still haven't passed the SAVE Act. And do you think we're gonna? Do you think when Trump's attacking people who he needs, those swing voters, and the Republicans and the Democrats see the swing voters moving away from him, do you think that's going to encourage the Republicans to do something that they don't want to do? Because the Republicans use the voter fraud too. That's why you have so many rhinos. These Republicans, these Mitch McConnell, Susan Murkowski, Collins, all these people, Cornyn, they're not gonna suddenly be like, yeah, let's go SAVE Act. When they see Trump's base splitting, they're going to double down on where they are. Say, well, Trump's about done anyways. Let's get through the midterms. I think that's been the plan. I think the plan has been for a long time. This is why I constantly talk about Wiles and Bondi and some of these other people. Now, I know Bondi's gone, but Susie Wiles was always in charge of that. She brought us Bondi. And Wiles is a Bush loyalist. The Bush loyalists, they all want to get rid of this MAGA stuff. They want to get back to business as usual, the uniparty. That's the goal. What this did was this cemented a divide. There are a lot of MAGA conservatives, and don't tell us that they're not. Don't tell me that these people are all anti-Trump. That's not true. These are people who fought hard for Donald Trump when they thought he was going to bring in accountability, when they thought he was going to support MAGA. Now they're asking questions. They're saying, President Trump, we thought you were going to end this big pharma nonsense. We thought you were going to, get accountability for Fauci and COVID. We thought you were going to have accountability for all these different things. It's not happening. And you have people that ask this question, and Trump gets mad. And this Iran war, which I'm sorry is not popular. I don't care if you're a diehard Trump fan and think it's great. That's fine. There's a lot of people who don't, and they vote. And they're going to vote in the midterms, or they're going to sit out. But either way, we need their votes to have the majorities. If we don't have the majorities, Donald Trump gets impeached. That's what's going to happen. And here's a real scary thought for you guys, right? If the Democrats take a decent majority in the Senate, let's say they got 53, right? Let's say they got 54. Now, it's unlikely that they do that. but let's say that they do. Do you really trust McConnell and Cornyn and some of these others who voted to impeach Trump in the past not to do it again? What if Trump was removed from office, guys? What happens then? What happens if Donald Trump is removed from office? Think about that. It's not impossible. We have got to pay attention here. At best, if the Democrats win and we can keep some semblance of sanity, Donald Trump gets impeached by the Democrats again, and he doesn't get anything done on his agenda because Congress undermines him everywhere. That's the best case scenario with Democrat majorities, and that's not a good thing. That's a loss for our country. My issue on this, and what I said on this, was I said, this is inexplicable. Listen, MAGA has never been sheep. We're not sheep. We're not the left. We don't just follow Donald Trump because he says Donald Trump. I'm principle first. I'm principle first, and I don't like what he did on glyphosate. I don't like what he's doing with these mRNAs. I don't like what he's doing on some of this stuff. Doesn't mean that I'm against Donald Trump, but I'm going to ask the questions. If you can't take me asking questions, I don't like the Iran war. I just don't. And if you can't take me asking questions, well, this is the wrong way to go. There's a lot of people like me, and there's a lot of people that won't hold their nose and vote Republican if you attack them. That's what happened here. Instead of saying, hey, we need to come together, let's talk about this, let's try and come together on this, that, and other, what he said was, well, if you don't support me blindly like the leftists do, you're not MAGA. That, by the way, is also why the CNN poll says 100% of MAGA supports Donald Trump. CNN doesn't like Donald Trump. They don't. Why do you think they would be putting out polls showing how much MAGA loves everything he's doing? It isn't to help Donald Trump, is it? We need the Trump diehards to wake up and understand what's happening. This is a plot to destroy Trump, to destroy MAGA. And instead of attacking each other, we need to recognize that you are allowed to ask questions if you're MAGA. You cannot build a conservative coalition of any type telling everybody what they have to think. You have to respect each other's differences. That is part of MAGA, accepting each other's differences, having dialogue about it, and talking about things. Not attacking people because they don't fall in line. That is not MAGA. This was a terrible move. This was a mistake on a profound level. I mean, Alex Jones, for God's sakes, has been I know what Alex has been saying lately, but he was one of Trump's longest term, hardest supporters. Megyn Kelly? For God's sakes, are you kidding me? Tucker? Now, I know Tucker went away with he's against the Iran stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, this is not going to go well with the midterms because there's too many people that agree. And instead of engaging those people and talking about it, we attack them. It's one thing to attack the Democrats because they're insane and you can't get anywhere. But MAGA likes to talk. We like to debate. We like to think things through. And instead we get this. Now, I want to play this. I thought, where is this? Let me find this. This is funny to me. Speaking of Iran, I got this. And this pretty much, I mean, I don't know what to say. This is probably the best explanation of what I saw for Iran. A lot of people agree with me on this. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm trying to have a conversation about this. Let's look at this. I want you guys to listen to this video. This is pretty funny to me.
All right, I'm not sure why we're all still having trouble with this. Let's try it again from the top. This is a victory for the U.S. because our goal from day one was for Iran to open the strait that didn't close till after we attacked, which was completely controlled by their military we had total dominance over. And it was a waterway that we could have taken over, but instead asked for help that we didn't need, but we'll remember that our allies did not give us, all because of the negotiating power of a FIFA Peace Prize recipient's threat threat to annihilate a civilization in order to liberate them from a regime that changed, which was not our goal, but we will take credit for, from an old man who hates us to his younger son who hates us for those reasons and that we killed his father. And while it is not clear the status of Iran's nuclear capabilities that we obliterated last year, but were going to be a problem in 2 weeks, one thing is for sure. They now have more money and control of the Strait than they had when they made the old deal that we ended because it was terrible. Now, I think that is enough about authoritarian propagandistic regimes. Does anybody have any questions about the Trump Library golden statue?
Okay. I mean, that's kind of what I hear when I hear this stuff about Iran. I mean, none of it makes any sense to me. This whole thing is kind of crazy. I will tell you this. I loved Tucker's response to this. Tucker actually, he didn't rip back into Trump. He did not rip Trump at all. What he said, and there is basically that, listen, President Trump's under an immense amount of pressure. And he goes through and he talks about, I'm going to read this first part. Establishment media never reports this, but the Israeli government has a storied history of blackmailing U.S. presidents. Perhaps the most jarring example occurred in the 90s when Israel used recordings of a Bill Monica Lewinsky phone sex session as leverage to pressure Clinton into releasing convicted spy Jonathan Pollard from the prison. We're not joking. That really happened. The phone sex story is worth remembering as President Trump attempts to end the Iran war. Like many other things Israel has done, it shows America's special allies willing to play very dirty to achieve its goals. And he goes on and essentially, and Tucker is obviously anti-Israel in general, I guess. I'm pro-Israel. I just am against Benjamin Netanyahu. But everything he's saying here, I think, would Netanyahu try and push or blackmail or do shady things to try and get things done? Benjamin Netanyahu killed his own people. He funded Hamas. Right? He funded Hamas that was attacking his people. In the Israeli government right now, they're having hearings about the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu, the administration, someone in his administration, whether it was Netanyahu himself, we don't know, ordered a stand down on October 7th that allowed the greatest terror attack in history to the country of Israel and the people of Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu pushed the mRNA vaccines on 90% of his people. Benjamin Netanyahu is not a good guy. So while I do support Israel, I do not support Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he's an evil monster. And would he do blackmail? Would he do things? Would he do whatever he could? Absolutely. I don't trust him at all. And in light of the fact that we keep seeing them essentially try and undermine the peace process in a lot of different ways, I don't trust Netanyahu. So, we've got all this stuff happening. And I think it's interesting, and I'm going to second Viva Frei on this, because Viva Frei did a great job. I'm going to pull this up. Where is Viva? Okay, here it is. This tweet by Viva said I couldn't agree with him more. Now, Viva said this, because we have FLOTUS out here, and let me play this by the FLOTUS. Right, this by Melania, and let's hear what Melania had to say here.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
Okay, so I appreciated the statement. Now, I think that really we need prosecution. I wish she could have called for that. I don't think Melania could have. But Viva says to all those who did a 180 on the Epstein files, who viciously lambasted and excoriated Rep. Massey for his efforts to compel the release of those documents and give a voice to the victims, understand that each and every insult you hurled against Massey for those efforts, you have now implicitly and effectively hurled against the First Lady. All because you didn't have the courage and integrity to stand by your principles and instead went with new marching orders. You should all be ashamed of yourself, unlikely event that you have a degree of introspection in the first place. Now, here's the deal. I've never wavered on this. We need accountability. We need accountability from the Epstein files. 100%. Melania just called for at least the victims to be heard. She acknowledged what's going on. This is a very big deal, and it's a big shift. Now, I don't know what's going on with all of this, but I find it to be appalling, the attacks that were leveled against everybody that spoke out on Epstein. And now we're seeing attacks on Iran. Anybody that speaks out on Iran. This isn't working. At some point, Susie Wiles needs to quit telling Trump, oh, yeah, just go after these guys, and start saying, hey, maybe we should listen to your base. Maybe we should start listening and, talking to them and find out why they feel this way. I mean, I'm not saying that, don't go after the Democrats. That's one of the things we love about Trump, but not your base. Your base cares about child rape. Your base cares about MAGA. A lot of your base doesn't like the Iran war. You got to unify your base. You got to keep your people happy. You can't keep everybody happy, but you got to at least work and have some respect for the people that support you. That is a very big deal. Now, let me tie all this together, right? So we've got Israel pushing for all these wars, and they're still attacking Lebanon and doing all these things. You've got chaos all over. Nobody's talking about Europe right now. Let me play you this last clip and share this with you guys, because the Great Reset, that's why I didn't like Trump's tweet about, the reset, is still underway. And it's happening everywhere. We have some interesting things happening here in the U.S., but let's play this. I want you guys to hear this. This is Sir Richard Kington of the U.K., and this is important.
I think the transition to conflict, transition to war, as it's described, NATO describes the transition to conflict, has a military component to it, but also has a civilian component to it. The SDR talked about how we protect our critical national infrastructure, and we also talk about how we need to build that resilience into the systems as we renew them. I talked before Christmas of the need that when we think about renewing our water infrastructure or our electricity or our transport infrastructure, to think about the threat of action from an adversary that is above the threshold of war, so it's not just a hybrid threat, and think about how we build in that resilience as we renew it. And that requires to make some different choices and different priorities. And that work that the Cabinet Office is doing across the whole of government is something I really welcome.
Okay. Europe is preparing for war, real war. And it sounds like they're looking at going to war with Russia over Ukraine. I don't know what else it would be. But this is a very big deal, folks. This is a very big deal. We're looking at a situation where we could be, maybe at a world war level. Craziness. I haven't seen anything like this in my lifetime. And, when I look at history, I don't think the world's been closer to a world war since World War II. It's a scary thing. And, a world war, energy lockdowns they're talking about, new gain of function work, Great Reset. Listen, is it happening? I don't know. I don't know. I know it sure looks like it, and I know I'm very concerned about it. MAGA, we need to unite. We need to recognize that if we want to make America great again, right now, we're in a very precarious position. The Iran war is not supported anywhere. Europe isn't backing us. None of our allies are backing us. Nobody likes it. The only one that likes the Iran war is Israel. And they seem hell-bent on expanding that war. In America and Europe, they're still pushing the corrupt Ukraine nonsense. They're still fussing with Ukraine. They're still fussing with Russia. And, Zelensky is hell-bent on it. Zelensky, he's getting rich as can be. He doesn't care about his people dying. Zelensky's a monster. We were supposed to end that war. That didn't work out real well, did it? There's a lot of bad stuff happening. And I want to finish the show by reminding you, here's the tweet. Here it is. The world's most powerful reset. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what it means, but I know I don't want any more resets. The only reset I want is to go back to 2019, pre-COVID. That's the reset I want. I want to get back to America. In 2019, Donald Trump had turned our economy around. He was bringing peace. Things were looking good. Everything was improving. The deep state was totally at war with him, but he was doing a good job on it. Then COVID hit, the kickoff of the Great Reset. It has never been the same since then, and it is not moving back in that direction right now. Add all these things up today, guys. Add them all up. They may seem a little disconnected. I want you to, kind of think it through yourselves, but it's kind of scary. All right, guys, don't forget to check us out. We got our new time coming next week, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on Rumble. We'll be here on X. We'll be all over the place. We'll be wherever we can be, but we'll be running our new show next week, and very excited about it. I'm expecting things to be good. We'll see if we can if we start on Sunday or Monday, but either way, we'll be starting. Big week for us, big things, lots of things changing. Turns out some people actually like the truth. So, we're going to keep telling it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. Listen, wherever you are in MAGA, love you. We just got to come back together on this, and we got to fight for the good of our country. And if you are MAGA on either side of MAGA, then you got to know a Democrat majority means a Trump impeachment. We need to figure out how to come together and get our stuff together so that doesn't happen. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.
Thank you for watching the Tom Renz Show. Join us live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, putting an axe in the skull of tyranny.
Hale & Associates are a financial services organization specializing in retirement planning. We work with individuals from across the country, understanding that each person has unique needs and desires. Our goal is to help you develop income planning solutions that last a lifetime while securing your estate in a tax-efficient manner. Since 1983, Hale & Associates has been committed to educating the public on effective retirement planning strategies. We strive to empower our clients to make informed decisions to achieve their financial goals and secure their future. Let us help you take the necessary steps to build a retirement plan that meets your needs and provides financial peace of mind.